Hello and welcome to JJR, different J in today, in Jerry's way. It is Wednesday, December 15th, almost through December 2022.
Wow.
It's like almost here. Jerry Blevins joining us today.
Thank
Claps
you.
for Jerry.
Thanks for the warm welcome.
Hate the wide shot because Jerry and I look like we are different Lord of the Rings characters, like a modern Lord of the Rings.
I would definitely be an elf with my. Wide shot doesn't fit for my body type. I'm a narrow shot.
If I keep the shoulders in, I think I'm Hobbit. If I open it up, I think I can be Gimli, grandson of Gloin.
I mean, that's a badass dude right there.
So I'll take that. Excited to see you guys today, the JJR faithful. Sorry we're a little behind. We had Jerry flew in, not putting it on him. And then we had a great Talking Baseball episode today where we were rolling. The boys were doing it. So, I mean, a lot of, I was happy. So, again, I will let Jerry talk at some point. BBD. Addie Mass is in the room. Celebs.
Love it.
I was explaining to Jerry, JJR, and kind of went through the backstory of it. And it is a beautiful thing. And, Jill, Evan, a lot of people in this chat, Fayao, are day one people that listen to us talk about a lot of different stuff over the days. And, Jerry, I think you are fit for that. I saw your eyes lighting up.
I love it. This is kind of like my wheelhouse here. A little bit on the weird side, being left-handed. I'm born weird, a little strange. Wide variety of topics, like Renaissance. I love it.
So the left weird thing, like there's actual stuff there. Like
there is.
It's how you use your brain, and I guess I want to know, like, when did you find out you were weird? Is that a fair question? I don't know.
Well, I have my brother, Rob, shout out to my older brother. I was weird from birth because he told me I was. As the older brother picking on the younger brother. No, I mean, when you sit in a desk in elementary school and you realize that you have to write over here and nothing's built, there's not one left-handed desk, or if you've got like a binder, a 3-ring binder or something where you have to you can't write on the left side of the page, you realize quickly that the world's not meant for you. So it's I always say it is the quietly and very non-aggressively the most discriminated against group in the world. Like, it's not like harsh. I'm not trying to claim.
Not trying to elevate it.
Correct. It's not a big deal, but the world is not built for left-handed people.
It's definitely, for me, it was like the world is a little fucked up moment. Like, because you're like, oh, especially playing sports, you'd be like, oh, yeah, righty, lefty, righty. Oh, yeah, you're a lefty. Oh, okay, I didn't. And then the first time you look at the desks and you're like, wait.
That's every time for you guys?
And, sometimes there was a room that had one lefty desk, and, I can't imagine what that was like. Did you get in any lefty altercations?
No, you lay claim. You lay stake hey,
so
this is going to be
there's other people that said they got in lefty altercations with you.
Well, you got to
establish.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You establish your dominance. And from a sports perspective, being a baseball player, everybody's always like, dude, you're lucky you can play forever. Being left-handed, you don't even have to be good.
Right.
You don't even have to be good. The truth is you're very limited. You play first base, you pitch, and you play outfield.
Yeah.
And if you're not good at those, you better be able to do something else. Basketball, everybody's, it's an advantage because nobody expects you to go
Just
left.
Not used to it, yeah.
But in football, I saw, I don't know what it was on, maybe something on SportsCenter, but they did a breakdown of left-handed quarterbacks. Tua is already in the top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
Because there's just not that many of them. Because when a coach has a whole system set up for his offense, and you were like, well, you're doing it backwards, so we're not even going to let you develop. So you're like, all right, go play tight end. So you don't get to play quarterback. I went to a tiny high school, so I actually got to play quarterback.
Really?
We were terrible.
Okay.
I am way too skinny. I wanted to play receiver, but we
Right.
didn't have anybody else that could throw the
You
ball.
can throw the ball, kid.
And so, but yeah, I got to play, but they don't want you to be left-handed because it's just like now I got to think of everything in reverse. So
Yeah. Well, let's take a little step back.
I'm proud of it, by the way. I don't want to
No,
complain. I'm
no,
proud.
You are a proud lefty, and we're proud for you. We always forget, like, our company has so much baseball in it. I think there's people that tune into this that aren't necessarily baseball fans, so I should probably
Yeah, go ahead.
introduce
I
you
want
a
to
little
shout
bit.
out
Yeah.
to Tanner Kingery. He
Yeah.
said we could lead the charge for lefty catchers. I've literally been lobbying for a left-handed catcher. It is beyond silly that there hasn't been one because there's no disadvantage anymore to being left-handed catcher because they used to say there's so many right-handed hitters throwing the ball to third base or throwing it to second. There's a hitter in your way, but there's left-handed hitters that
Sometimes
righties
there's
throw around
other
all the time.
hitters.
It's an advantage to throwing to first base, which you do more often. Like, I don't know. But, Tanner, I'm on you.
I'm 1,000% with you. I think I'm on the record on Talking Baseball saying
I love
that
it.
it's ridiculous.
There's no,
And
you
a
wear
lot
the,
of catcher talk today, but
you're a boss for a reason.
Jerry Blevins, 13-year MLB career. Before that, apparently high school quarterback. I just found that out. What else should we know? Like, give us the elevator talk.
Oh,
I just hit the 51st floor, and I'm like, hey, I think
Quick bio?
give it all. Elevator gets stuck
All right.
for 2 minutes, and you're laying it all out there.
Married to a beautiful wife named Whitney. Been married since 2015. 2 young boys, 2 little boys. Ellis, who's 3.5. Asher, who's just turned 2 in October. Wonderful. We're done there. I made sure of that.
Family. Check.
Done. That's it. Yep. We can't be outnumbered, so we went one-on-one. We could separate them, do what we need to
Like
do.
that.
College dropout. Got drafted out of the University of Dayton. Wanted to go to law school. So glad that didn't work out. I walked onto the baseball team from like the poster in the dorm. Me and my roommate were like, "Hey, Saturday, let's do it." And then made the team, and baseball became a real thing. And I've been proud member of the Union Players Association for a long time. Not anymore, obviously, since I've retired. And I joined the Jomboy family, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. It's my first time in the office, meeting everybody here, seeing the environment, the fun, the talent that's in here. It's been great, man.
It's beautiful. It's
Hey,
beautiful.
thanks. Yeah, that's it. Short.
You have an older brother?
I do. Forgot.
One
don't
older
beat me up.
brother?
One older brother. Single mom. Raising my brother and I in Northwest Ohio. Bounced around a bunch. Arcadia High School, Northwest Ohio, tiny little farm town. Graduated with 39 people.
Wow. I always love those.
It was wonderful, like a small town. I could do whatever I wanted because they're not going to cut down. There's no tryouts.
Right.
So I got to play football, baseball, and basketball. I got to be in the marching band. I got to do like 4 years of art.
No limits.
I literally could do like, we need bodies. So I got to do everything, and it was fun, man. I loved every bit of it. It was a great way to grow up, being able to basically do whatever you want to do. Like kids today have to like specialize early. I would have been sick of baseball because I would have been forced to choose so early.
Yeah.
Like I loved doing the different things as the seasons came along.
And everyone always says that speech. Like I know a lot of people say it because at theory it is right. Like play all the sports and have all the fun. But you're right. Like at this point with AAU and how competitive everything is, like in a way, if you want to pursue that into college or whatever, like you do have to start making choices, and it's pretty crazy. And I went to a decently sized high school. Like I think it was like 1,500 kids, freshman through senior.
It's a big
Like total.
Yeah. And so my athleticism, which we always talk about on this show,
as you
is
should.
obvious.
Exudes.
I was a peaked at 12 or 14 in hindsight, similar height.
You're a big boy at an early age.
First pick in the Little League, all that stuff. People know. I always wonder, played soccer and baseball, and then, started going downhill a little bit as everyone else got bigger and everything. I always wondered, though, because in our division, it always blew my mind why this team was in our division. I guess it was a private school. but they were a small school. Like, their classes were much smaller size, and they kind of got beat up, like, in our league a lot, which just made sense.
Yep.
But I also wondered, like, if I went there, like, mentally, what would have been different? Because if I went there, I think I would have been captain of the baseball team in 3 years varsity, and I would have been, I mean, I was 3-year varsity soccer, but it's, again, we don't harp on that, because a lot of the time was on the bench in a weird plot twist.
Earn your stripes,
But
man.
I always wonder, like, that's, becomes part of your persona, and that carries into either your college confidence or, confidence levels and different things like that. So I was always wondered, like, the smaller school experience, but at the same time, I mean, if I asked you to name the whole class, like,
I mean, I'd be pretty close.
You'd
We
be
just
pretty
had our
close, right?
20-year reunion.
Wow. How
So
was that?
I graduated 01 to 2021. It was great. I could name majority of people.
Are you like the guy from your town?
I mean,
like, not
no.
to be
Well, from my
obnoxious
town,
about
no. Ben Roethlisberger is the guy from our town. Like, he's Super Bowl champ.
Time out.
Yeah, he went to a bigger school. Like, he went.
But
I
he's
live.
From that town.
We're from 10 minutes away from each other,
Okay.
but he went to the big public school, and I was so Fostoria. That's weird. Ohio's like a big open field, like cornfield basically, and there's pockets of civilization. I grew up in Fostoria, which is like a industrial town, railroad town,
Okay.
that was shrinking, and then in between there's like 10-minute drive, 15 to get to Findlay, which is the big town, Marathon
I've heard of
Petroleum headquarters.
Okay.
It's Whirlpool, Cooper Tire, like a bigger town, and then in between it's farm, and Arcadia is where I went to high school. Is in between, just one stoplight, tiny town, and so that's where I went. I commuted, 10 minutes from my town.
Wow.
And so, but Roethlisberger's the guy. Graduated a year ahead of me. Was an amazing football
Did you play
player.
against
No.
No, because
So,
different size schools.
Yeah, he
I'm
went to
assuming.
Findlay, which is like a big school.
Right.
Ohio is D1 is the biggest, and 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5. We are Division 6.
Mm.
They're Division 1, different.
Yeah, so that matchup wasn't.
Never, thank
that's
goodness.
good, yeah.
Yeah, because I was a late bloomer anyway. But he's the guy. I mean, Steelers are huge in my area to begin with.
Yeah.
And he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, going to be a Hall of Famer. So he's the king of the hill.
That's the dude. Yeah. And you're Bengals.
I am a Bengals fan.
What else for sports? Are we
So I grew up.
Cavs?
So
Do we do-
I'm a Cavs fan. Not a huge NBA fan. I
Okay.
do follow a little bit, but not. We go to take family to the game every once in a while.
Sure.
But I grew up an Oakland A's fan. My brother,
You grew up an
I
Oakland
grew up
A's
an
fan.
A's fan. Got to wear the jersey for the
How about that?
yeah my call up. It's crazy, man. Bizarre playing baseball and being able to play in the big leagues for so long. I still really don't believe that I got to do it. It's
Yeah.
weird and amazing. But I grew up an A's fan in 1990 when I was 7. My brother's 4 years older than me. He's a huge Reds fan still to this day.
Mm.
I'm like, I want the other team because you're being mean to me today. And their uniforms are sweet. I love the white cleats.
Yeah.
And they all had huge muscles and hair and mustaches. I was like, I want them. They got their butts kicked. They got
Sure.
swept that series.
Yeah.
But I was an A's fan forever. There's a bunch of pictures of me as an elementary school kid rocking an A's hat. Still love the uniform. Still love the look. Still love the organization.
It's so well. And again, for those that don't know, Jerry played a lot of ball for the Oakland A's, so that's really cool. And man, it's so funny. My oddball team is the Denver Broncos. When I was coming of age in sports and fandom, Broncos, Terrell Davis. So I wore a Terrell Davis
Sweet.
jersey every year in my middle school class photos and blah blah blah. And I do have a pride. I know again some of the people that watch all of our stuff religiously have seen I've been mad at the Broncos, and it's obviously different than my Yankee fandom. I watch every game. If there's a Sunday when I can watch Broncos football, I'm like, okay, this worked
It's
out.
a perk.
Yeah. And some people were calling me out there like, Jake, you're not a Broncos fan. You don't like what they're doing. And I wasn't excited with Teddy, and that was a whole thing that I was being tough. But at the same time, when I saw someone say that the first time, because wasn't being proud about the Broncos, because they're having an okay year. They're 7-6, and they're Teddy Bridgewater's not bad.
But
That's
it's
also-
When you
nice
sign
wins
Teddy Bridgewater, you're not trying to win
he's
the
going
Super
to
Bowl.
be gone in 1 or 2
Yeah,
years.
you know what I
and
mean?
Your expectations are.
I understand that.
So, but I do have like this odd pride about it that like, yeah, I'm a Broncos fan.
Super
but at the
cool.
same time, it was because I made a decision when I was like a 10-year-old kid.
That's
or however
awesome.
old I was. So
That's a lifelong commitment that not a lot of people make. So I actually grew up like really young age. I was a 49ers fan. We talk about being left-handed. Steve Young was the guy. And then my name is Jerry. There's no other Jerrys in the world.
Right.
Jerry Rice,
Jerry Rice.
the real GOAT, greatest of all time. And so those are my guys. When my grandfather
Jerry
passed
Garcia.
away, I've never been much of a deadhead.
We debated doing a Jerry draft, but we kind of ran into.
I was
going to
say, you're like, you got Seinfeld.
It would have been like a one-round.
You've got Stiller. Yeah,
Would've
there's a
been
very
like,
few.
Make
Springer.
a top 3.
Springer, he's an
We could have got 2
Ohioan.
rounds. We could have got 2 rounds.
Could have
but-
gotten weird.
Yeah.
Your last sentence was my grandpa passed away.
Well,
so
yeah, that's okay. But it's not, my grandfather passed away when I was 10. He was a huge Bengals fan.
Okay.
And so I adapted and adopted, my grandfather. He was a big guy.
Okay.
He had this huge sweatshirt. There's a picture of me like huddled next to him when I was little and that. And so it's like a great connection. And then finally, you guys have Teddy Bridgewater. We got Joe Burrow, Joey B, man.
Like that's exciting.
We're exactly trajectory. We have an identity. And so as a Bronco fan, it's okay to be upset.
Right.
You're not going to. Teddy Bridgewater is a good quality.
I've ended
player.
up landing in a good spot because they're a better watch than I expected this year because they run the ball well and they do play
Javonte
good
Williams,
defense and so I've ended up in a good spot.
Great
with
receivers. That's interesting. They just signed like all their receivers, like big deals.
They filled out like the whole
Sure
team. They
did.
drafted kind of well. Like no offense, Jerry, I do want to touch upon. We do have our draft coming up. We're not revealing it to the chat yet.
Jerry the Mouse
Jerry
is
the Mouse
also a
would've
big
been
one. Tom and
selected.
Jerry,
Would've
Ben and
gone.
Jerry.
Ben and Jerry would have got in there. We'll save the Jerry draft for another time.
Next time.
We'll get to the draft in a minute. Let's get one of the reads out of the way. Magic Spoon. Have you tried Magic Spoon, Jerry? We're going to have to get this.
I want it.
Basically, so
Sounds
I'll
magical.
sell you on it.
Please do.
They are a healthier cereal. Are you a cereal family?
I am not. My wife. I am a cereal guy,
Okay,
but it's by myself. My wife and kids,
gotcha.
dabble.
Well, the
but
kids
I'm
are
all,
young. They'll probably evolve into that at some point.
Yeah,
If
if Dad has
cereal's
a
there,
say.
I'm sure they're in.
But if it's a good cereal, I could sell my wife on that.
Right.
Like,
Well,
good for you.
let me tell you. Magic Spoon, 0 grams of sugar,
Is she sold?
13, 14 grams of protein,
Love it.
only 140 calories per serving.
Calories don't mean much to me, but I can see where that counts.
They do to me, man. Keto friendly, gluten free. These people have heard this, but me and Jimmy were pretty skeptical. We're like, this is gonna taste like butt. This is a healthy cereal.
And
that's how I feel
the
right
very
now.
first time we tried it,
We
was
tried
like,
it
was a
live on air, so
taste
we were
on
like,
this.
Rolling the dice.
Yeah, if
Ooh.
this goes bad, like we're gonna.
It's like
"All
you're
right,
there
making,
goes your
you're
sponsor.
gonna make us try something
Yeah.
live for the first time that's supposed to be healthy.
this is good. Turns out it was good, and they've got
I'm for it.
the real flavors: fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and creams, maple waffle. We haven't run into a bad one. Go to magicspoon.com/Jomboy.
Write this down.
Jom's a huge fan.
He like
You
on
gra-
his own is subscribed.
You grab a custom bundle, use the promo code Jomboy, you save $5 at checkout. 100% happiness guaranteed.
That's bold.
We'll talk about happiness.
bold.
That's what the next hour is
'Cause they
about.
know.
Cereal is a happy food.
It's heavy. It is a happy food.
Absolutely.
Get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Jomboy and use code Jomboy to save $5. Thanks, Magic Spoon.
Yeah.
I
in.
want to do one more thing before we get to the draft. We usually banter, draft, some weird news, whatever. Jerry, I'm reliving this now.
Okay.
And you mentioned, you're having fun with the Jomboy family today, and we're, once the Mets season starts, and we've got some developments coming that we're going to be seeing you more, tricking you out into the big city. I'm now remembering, and so I made a little bit of an asp of myself over the weekend.
Did you say asp? You made an asp of yourself? I thought you were being kind.
It's a friendly family show.
Oh, good. Smart.
What is an asp? Is that a bug or a bird?
I feel like it's a bug.
The friendly asp. I don't know. I made an ass of myself.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
I went to a wedding. I don't know if you saw this. I let off a couple drunk tweets for the first time in a while. Like bat. Like
Snake.
It's a snake.
It's a asp is a snake?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's like some companies
sounds
that go
kind
by
of-
ASP that also come up first.
Asp sounds dangerous. Is it a poisonous snake?
Yeah, the first line of the Wikipedia. Well, it's what is now known as the Egyptian cobra. So
Egyptian cobra is a way better name than asp. Let's just get that on record.
yeah,
asp. So I'll show you this.
one of several snakes.
Like
species.
literally, like drunk, like teenager, college kid. I don't know. Like I don't know if that was a butt dial. I've already explained
Did
to
you?
a lot of the people.
Good. Okay.
Went to a wedding, and I have a pretty good wedding plan. I'm usually like a tequila soda. Like I like going up.
I'm a tequila guy. I love that.
I like going up. I don't want to say my kryptonite in drinking. You'll see. Midway through the wedding, they busted out espresso martinis, and I'm an espresso. If I'm gonna turn up,
Yeah.
I'll do that with an espresso martini early. Like I'll do one or two, and then I'll go to whatever else I'm drinking, and that's my get up.
That's smart. Get it early.
I was already kind of up. They busted those out. So, some of the people have already heard that. What I'm bringing that to is, Jerry, one of our first, I think our first exchange, I wasn't under the weather. I think I had a drink or two in me, and I think I replied to you. There's a conversation on Twitter where I think I mentioned something along the lines of, like, why did you kiss my dad?
Yes. Yeah. You were at a Yankee game. I remember this exchange. You were at a Yankee game, and
We had never exchanged anything.
nothing.
I knew your Twitter bio. Like, yeah, Jerry Blevins. Yeah, he used to sling it. Sure.
I
Remember the Mets?
So we were. John had tweeted out that you missed the Jumbotron hat shuffle, and I was like, "Oh, it's so embarrassing."
Yes.
I said, "Like, ouch, that's embarrassing.
Yes.
You're a grown man, really putting
Right.
forth the effort." And then your exchange that led to you kissed my dad or something like that. I was like, "This guy's on another level. I'm loving it." Yeah, I could see it in your eyes. I was like, "Hey, you're at a ball game having some beers. I respect it."
Yeah.
Thought it was hilarious. I'm glad that I totally forgot about that until you just brought it up.
Yeah.
Do we know the exact?
For a while, that was one of my favorite insults. You kissed my dad. Because it really freaks
Oh, it was
people
meant
out.
to be a diss. Oh,
Not an insult, but just
Like
not
you
an
need to get
insult,
somebody off guard.
it changes the tone of the conversation.
it did.
Because, like,
That was your trash talk.
if you did, okay. Why not? And now here we are today.
That's great. What a full circle.
Excited you're here. Shea Station. I'm excited for the Mets and all of that. But yeah, I think that's funny. I told one other interview story within the company on here. We're full disclosure for these people. Everything's open. We had an interview with one of our editors, producers. Actually, Jack
producer.
Yeah.
I met him today.
He
He does our show.
that it was
He does Shea
just
Station.
it's just a hilarious story. I'll say it briefly, but we already kind of said we were going to hire him before he came in, but we hadn't met him. Like Jolly said, he's like, "Hey, I've got this guy. He's done film school. He's kind of my guy. He's like, he's good. He'd love to work here." And it was kind of at a time when we were like, "Yeah, we could use another body." So we basically all like almost shook hands on it. Like, "Yeah, we're probably gonna hire this guy." And then he came in, and we were busy. It was like mid-season. We were running around, and then it was like, "Oh, he's here for the interview." And we're like, okay. So we're just like, "Oh, so you edit stuff?" And he's like, "Yeah." And Jack, again, if he's listening, I won't tell him this, but good personality, like kind of quiet, but when you get him going, it's a sweet Jomboy media lane. It's delightful.
Nice.
Again, I won't tell him that. But again, first time meeting him though, don't know that, and he's kind of like reserved and not like too high energy or something. first interview, like opportunity to work here. A lot of people come in hot and, anything to work here, and I've done this, this, and this. And he was just kind of like, yeah,
I dabble.
Yeah, I do this, and yeah. And so then it kind of hit a point at the interview. I think me and Jimmy were looking at each other where we were like, you got a question? Like, what do you got? And then so we were asked, like, so do you have some stuff to show us? Like, what have you done? Like, that's a pretty fair question for an editor. And he's like, funny enough, like, I don't. Like, my thing just got blocked online, like my old, like, college website or wherever he stored his stuff. So he's like, I can't show you right now. So then we were like... This feels like one of those things where, if we're becoming the real company we're supposed to become, like, I don't know. But we're still like, all right, man, like, see you next week. Like, he was going on vacation and then joining us. And so it's ended up being a huge win and a good fit and all that.
That's lovely.
But that was funny. And then I think it's also funny that, like, your true interview with us was probably that Twitter exchange where I think me and Jimmy looked at each other and was like, wow, you hit him with you kissed my dad, and he liked it. Yeah,
I loved it. It's true. I was like, dude, this guy, he stays in he's not afraid to venture out, be himself, say something off the wall, be yourself, man. I love it. A lot, like, it's weird. I'm just a guy from Ohio.
Sure.
And when people think about baseball players, they tend to, like, either come at you a little strong.
Yeah.
Or don't be themselves at all. And you came out with you kissed my dad, or you didn't say that when you kissed my dad. Yeah. I'm like, what a clown. I love it. Like, I love it, man. That's hilarious.
His cards are out.
Yeah. He's not pretending. He's not sucking up. He's coming for it. I love it.
It's the might as well play with an open hand.
I like it.
I got nothing to lose at this point, man. That's what
your audience is here for. They love you.
That's what I told the people.
BBD.
My dating life really changed when I just stopped playing the game. It's like, if you want to meet up and you want to find out if we like each other or we're into this at all, I'm in. Let's do it. And even if we don't, if we have a bad hour and a half, but we've met, who cares?
Have a great life.
Like, I'm not lying about the height in the bio. Like, I'm not, I'm not gonna say, like, I like reading on the weekends. Like, here it is. Like, I remember a big thing for me, because I used to do a lot of weird stuff on my Instagram before it was work stuff. Yeah, I know. I used to just say, like, I'd say, like, hey, it's like, here you go, 5'7", from Connecticut, like to have fun. Check out my Instagram before you make your decision. And honestly, just landed in a great spot, because it's like, this is real now. And it felt like, I just saw in your face, you kind of maybe had that moment.
Well, that's a deep conversation to have, by the way, which I love. It's because it's genuine. I love genuine people. We talked about it on Talking Baseball about my love for Donaldson, Josh Donaldson.
He's Josh Donaldson.
He is who he is. He's not pretending to be anybody. He's a good guy. I like him. He's intense. He's a bit of a knucklehead, a meathead sometimes. Sure. Love him to death. He's awesome. There's too many people I would rather have. Like, if you're going to, can I say a-hole?
Yeah.
If you're going to be an asshole, be an asshole. Like, some of my favorite people in the world are assholes.
Yeah.
But they're themselves, and they don't apologize. They're not being fake. They're not being friendly to you in front of your face. And you're talking about dating. That was kind of when I was, when you accept who you are as a person, and you're not trying to pretend, that's when everybody comes into your life that you appreciate, because there's no hiding. You're just who you are, man. And when you are who you are, and there's people that are still around you that love you, that they want to be around you more, I mean, it just elevates you even more. So that's you didn't mean to go that deep, but I think it is deep, because you are a genuine human being, and that's strong.
Well, and I think the power of JJR, because that was beautiful, is that someone just donated and commented, dude on the left looks like he can speak dolphin.
It got to be really good.
Like, I got. Do you know him? Do you call him at home? Yes. It's the gray and probably the super skinny. I am quite speedy in the water. That's not true. I sink like a rock. I have to hold myself up.
Really?
Well, I mean, I don't have any body fat. It's not built for floating. I used to have to swim for. used to have to swim for college, like 5 a.m. jog to the swimming pool and then work out. It's extra hard for a guy built like me because I'm just dense, sink to the bottom kind of guy.
Damn.
Working hard.
Because everyone assumes the limbs.
I mean,
all right. Well, we got some more passionate.
that is a good one, by the way.
Some more passionate stuff out there. Also, you were adding to our relievers bullpen that we're forming. You and Moylan, we can kind of get any matchup.
I mean, do you count Trevor May in there?
Trevor May, I think
is he
counts.
in the fold?
I think counts, right?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Archie, we're not sure.
Well,
Archie Bradley kind of.
Braulty's got some bullpen appearances.
I mean, we got some good stuff.
Normal Dog, quick question before we get into our lineup. Jerry, would you rather be a chipmunk or a squirrel?
Chipmunk. They're way cuter.
Okay.
And elusive, even more so.
And that brings us to our draft today. Chad, it's a lineup, excuse me. Baseball guy here. We're doing a lineup. And Jerry, you mentioned you're from
Ohio.
The Midwest, Ohio.
Correct.
Northwest Ohio. Did I get that
I'm from
right?
Northwest Ohio. Correct.
Northwest Ohio. Ohio's gotten very proud about this. And this draft is brought to you by Dugout Mugs. BBD's got his Dugout mug over there. We are drafting. Should I say it? I keep saying drafting. We're doing a lineup.
It's a lineup app.
I hate when I get mad. We're doing a lineup of Midwest states. Chat, I will give you guys the states so you don't feel completely lost. So we have our pool of 11 states that we will be drafting from, and it's from Dugout Mugs. Code Jomboy, 30% off knob shots, wind-up glasses, the wooden mugs, the metal mugs. I kind of know their whole product line because they've been with us for a while now. And we love Dugout Mugs. They've been awesome. They sponsored the whole playoffs, which was like a big time in our lives. Jimmy was about to have a baby, and the playoffs were going on. It was a lot. So it kind of felt like Dugout Mugs was like there for me. It was like part of my life during a big time. Go get the knob shots. Put them in everyone's stocking. That's what I keep telling everyone. And they're just the perfect baseball gift. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Code JOHNBOY, dugoutmugs.com, 30% off site-wide. So we are making a lineup of the Midwest states. The Midwest, now, Jerry, so this was when we landed around this. Me and BBD looked at each other and we said, what is the
There's
Midwest?
a lot of controversy about what should and shouldn't be included.
Oh, there's controversy.
I don't know. People have different borders.
Oh, really?
What's
give me a controversial state.
So, well, we'll start off with just how we got to the pool we got.
Okay.
We Googled like which states are the Midwest to see if there's like an official thing, and the federal government recognizes 12 states as Midwest.
And we needed
11.
11.
Yeah, we needed 11.
So the federal government, according to one Google I did, recognizes Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Ohio, Wisconsin. So what we decided to do was take out both Dakotas and replace that with Kentucky, and that's how we got from 12 to 11.
That's not, so I didn't.
Because picking between a Dakota,
being a
tough.
Midwesterner, I didn't know that they were North and South Dakota are still considered the Midwest.
They're also they're pretty north and.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, but Kentucky
Kind of
I
where
saw
else
on
would
the
you
list
throw that?
is close.
So
I can
that
see
was,
why
Yeah,
people wouldn't
Kentucky, West
include
Virginia,
Yeah.
kind of in that area.
the reason we went there was the Dakotas. So
I mean,
in
It's
some
the
of these
same
lineups,
conversation for
Yeah.
each.
in some of these lineups, a lot of times if there's a true pairing, the baseball person in you says second base, shortstop. So I think
like
if the
your pitcher
Dakotas were in
catcher.
there, I think that would have thrown it off, and I liked adding Kentucky. So
I like it.
as you see, as I scroll past our list of some previous drafts, we did a fruit baseball lineup.
Fruits was good.
Hold on, can I just see the fruits
yeah,
real quick?
please.
Okay.
So a lot of banana,
Trevor did that
pitcher.
I mean, I like it. I like it.
What were some
I
of
feel
the-
like peach is too
What
low.
were some of the other consensus here? What was the shortstop?
Lemon and left.
I think there was a lot of apple at shorts.
Lemon and at catcher, I like.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
a lot of good thought exercises. Apple catching a lot.
tough, durable.
there's a lot of arguments
Every
to be had
day.
for a lot of positions.
I like it. That's awesome.
So I was just going to insert a page break like I still use Microsoft Word ever. So with that, I'll do BBD, Jaker, Sherry. Are you video game guy at all?
I was before I got married and had children.
yeah.
So I love video games. My 3.5-year-old is. I bought a Switch, like the mobile one, like years ago, and he found it and he plays Crash Bandicoot. Like he's every time as soon as he wakes up, Dad, I want to play Crash Bandicoot. So he's starting to get into it. So I might be able to go back and play some video games. Yeah.
Okay. Good job, BBD. That was smart. So we normally go around the horn, which is also funny because I think of when you start around the horn, you should start with the catcher. Jimmy doesn't think of the catchers.
We do it differently every time.
Jimmy loves catchers. He was a catcher, but he doesn't think of them as like the infield.
That's 2 though. You go around the horn. I just do it by the number on the field.
So pitcher usually feels like a big reveal because that's kind of one of the first spots your head jumps to.
Yeah.
It's usually one of the first ones you think of.
So
okay. You guys are the pros here.
Yeah, I'll start laying it out.
Yeah.
I'll go to catcher. Dad's here today. Dad's running it. So yeah, we'll just go around and then we'll see where it lands. At catcher, I put the great state of Minnesota. I just pictured Minnesota with kind of broad shoulders, like as a state and the people from that state. So it again, and I think they paired decently with my catcher, or my pitcher, excuse me. So I don't know. That was kind of my first thought process.
Minnesota was one of my bigger flexes that I was just like, I could end up with them anywhere. So I placed.
It felt like Minnesota had options.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead? Who you have at catcher?
This is where I put Iowa.
Okay.
When I think Iowa, I think kind of that traditional movie catcher, stocky build, and
wrestlers.
Yes.
I like it.
And Iowa, as far as like its placement in the country, like easy to not notice when you're thinking about our great nation, but very important, like in elections and like all the corn they do there and shit. And
the caucus.
Yeah.
Huge caucus.
Very easy to forget about Iowa, but really important that kind of embodies the catcher position as well.
Okay. I like it.
Who'd you put behind
I put Minnesota as my
really?
catcher.
Wow.
And we talked about it, so I had like a Minnesota-Wisconsin kind of duel here.
Okay.
Because these are the northern colder states, the tough hockey players. These guys are like they talk and they got the Minnesota. Pass me the remote. Like they're the tough, different breed. Missing a tooth on purpose as a show of pride that they've been punched in the face. Wrestlers, like I think this identifies with being tough, a different breed of human being we talked about. Hockey guys are different breeds. Catchers are different breeds to put yourself through punishment like that on purpose. So Minnesota was my choice. Ice fishing, that's fun. But catcher, Minnesota, that was for me.
So love that. I will I don't want to say we normally do this. If there is a match, we usually show you don't have to clap.
I will.
You don't have to clap, but it's normally like
yeah, man.
This
wavelengths.
This social experiment is working. That's kind of the result.
I dig it.
The coolest feeling is when we all three get one.
Yeah, I mean that's special. So we'll see. Those are rare.
I feel like I'm going to be an outlier for one of these positions.
Well, it does end up shifting the team.
King Purple.
You have to make a decision in that.
Sometimes you're between a couple.
At the end of the day, sometimes we do allow changes. Like it's again not a competition, and if there's something, there's usually 2 or 3 of these that you're like, what?
I feel like I know where you're going with one position, and I disagree with it.
Okay.
So
interesting.
We'll see.
Well, let's go to first base.
Okay.
And it was kind of interesting the way you just phrased it with Minnesota. I went Wisconsin there. I kind of thought a big burly Wisconsin.
I love it.
I think maybe the corners could have been a position first or third, but I put Wisconsin at first. What about yourself?
I put Missouri at first base.
Really?
I think of the big Midwestern corn-fed.
Okay.
You've got some rough and tumble cities in St. Louis there. You've got some athleticism. First base is often underappreciated. I think St. Louis as a city is a little bit underappreciated.
Ooh, I like that.
And usually, you've got some toughness, and they're tough.
Okay.
So,
Mizzou, BBD, where'd you end up?
This is where I ended up placing Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan, I don't think Michigan people are going to like this phrasing. It's not meant to be, their most notable city is Detroit. It's a city a little past its prime. At one point, it was the place to be. Maybe earlier in its career, Michigan was overplaying third.
So you have a veteran first base.
He's a veteran, and now he's gone. He's playing first base now.
Okay. Made the move.
I'm surprised. So this is my choice for you guys to choose Michigan as your shortstop. Being Yankee fans, having Kalamazoo boy, I thought for sure that's where you're going. And as an Ohio guy,
right,
Michigan's the rival. They finally beat us in college football.
Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State. So that was I'm shocked that you went there. I like it.
I have Michigan as an impact player in my team, not at shortstop.
Okay.
I do like that Jeter guy. Michigan. Do you dislike Michigan?
I don't. I actually really like Michigan, but I'm like I'm supposed to hate them.
Right.
Blue people like during the rivalry, like it's the greatest rivalry in sports.
It's real.
And I'm not even a huge college football fan,
yeah,
but I have to be because anytime when I first got drafted, went to Boise, Idaho.
What?
That was when I first got drafted.
First
so bouncing around.
That's the first.
Everywhere you go, they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Ohio." They're like, "I hate the Buckeyes." And there's only so many times.
A lot of hate.
There's only so many times that you can hear like, "I hate the Buckeyes." And they're like, "Well, I hate you."
Yeah.
You start to stand up for yourself because they associate you with the Buckeyes because it's so big there.
Right.
So.
I will say, I went to a wedding with a bunch of Ohio people, and they were aggressive with the OHIOs and all of that.
It's like they're
thing. I left that wedding, and I was like, all right, easy,
that's enough.
Easy.
By the way,
Ohio.
Boise, the only people
I heard
I've
it's
ever
awesome.
It's awesome. The whole Northwest League was amazing. Like Vancouver's like sneaky. It's a big league city.
An awesome spot. Yeah.
But Boise State. They like to say Boise.
Boise.
So Boise State.
Always learning.
They like their football team there more than Ohio people like Ohio State, and it's the only place I've ever been to in the country where they like their Broncos more than Ohio likes Ohio State, which it's incredible, and that's saying something.
Sneaky on my sports bucket list would be like one of those opening college football weekends if Boise State gets another big-time program, play some golf out there because I think that's beautiful out there. I think
it's like high desert. You can launch the ball.
Something like that.
Yeah.
The blue field. Yeah.
So here's a quick. So I drafted, I had to do my entrance physical at Boise State. So I can sign my contract. So I went, and they had the turf out, and there are 10 dead birds. They have to cover the field now because birds think it's water, and they dive bomb. I was like horrified. I was like, what are all those like? What are those? And they're like, oh, they're dead birds. They think it's a lake, and they just come in full speed.
That's one of those things like
now they
incredible.
Cover it.
Oh, they do.
They do cover
good.
it. They like whenever they're not on the field, they cover it. I imagine it's green or whatever.
We
but
got a solution.
Yeah, they cover it up when they're not on it. But it's a thing.
I mean, that's one of those things. Like as a society, you're just like, damn. Yeah, like, are we doing it wrong?
Is this? Yeah, it's cool.
Is the blue football
it looks
field
cool.
worth
Is it worth it? That's the question.
We got a solution.
They outlawed it. I think they're the only team that can do it, or they were the last, or somebody. Yeah.
Well,
sidetrack.
We got first base. Second base, for me and BBD, I used a little bit of your reasoning. I put Iowa there. Again, kind of the smaller wrestler kind of popped out. A gritty second baseman in Iowa.
I like it. I think that I went similar. I went Nebraska. Okay. I feel very similar to Nebraska as I do to Iowa, except I've spent a lot more time in Iowa, and I know them a little bit better. Are
they neighboring? Do they touch?
Iowa and Nebraska? I believe so.
I think a little bit in that northeast
Yeah, they're
corner.
So I have a terrible experience with Nebraska. Got it.
Yeah.
I got a speeding ticket going 51 in a 50 in Nebraska.
Stop.
and I had to pay it because I was driving through, and they're like, well, if you don't like it, show up for court. And I couldn't.
I'm not coming back. So.
Yeah, so I had to pay that fine. As a minor leaguer, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But I chose them for that reason, and second base is the most. It's like you don't have to be the best athlete to play second base. You don't have to have the best arm, the most range. I like second base. It's a very key point. But it's just, where do I stick this guy? He doesn't have a position.
Kind of
Let's
like,
try him at second base.
Good
You end up.
Yeah,
at second
you better
base,
hit
kind of.
because you're there, or be gritty.
Hasn't that changed a lot?
Oh,
I feel
a
like
lot.
that's a modern baseball. Like second baseman and shortstop never hit. Like people, like
If
you
you
go
were
back in the
getting
history
anything out of
books and you're
those-
like, you look at some of those middle play combos you hear about and you're like, what?
So that's why guys like
They didn't
Ryan
hit at all.
Sandberg and Ron Santo, those guys that could rake at second
Yeah.
base, were like Hall of Famers instantly because they're like the best of the group.
Yeah.
We just did all-time Yankee draft a couple weeks ago, and like it's by how much Robinson Cano is kind of the best player at that position.
He didn't
It's-
exist.
Like there's just no.
Robinson
There's
Cano
guys who
didn't
compiled,
exist in old
but
baseball.
yeah,
Like a big left-handed
power
35
stroke.
homer a year.
That doesn't. I
second
mean,
base.
Ian
It still
Kinsler.
kind of
Ian
doesn't.
Kinsler is a borderline Hall of Famer with
Yeah.
his career. If you really look at his numbers, like he's
Compare second baseman to second baseman.
Pedroia was like a shoe-in until his knee injury. He still
God,
is
he just
borderline. There, I
Yeah,
mean, they
there'll be
just got to have
conversations.
they
6
just
more
didn't
years,
exist. Those were different style of players, and so
Times. Who do you have, BBD?
My second baseman. This is where I ended up putting Indiana. Indiana's a guy that could have
Okay.
flexed to a few spots. He's my fastest player. I was thinking of
Ooh.
the 500.
Okay.
There's a lot of guys that I just couldn't figure out. So when I split one, puzzle pieces moved. Indiana ended up at second. So a little speed there doesn't hurt. But
I like it.
I didn't have a passionate spot for Indiana.
yeah, I identified if any of these are going to be fast states, Indiana is one of them.
I have strong feelings for Indiana being border to Ohio. Been to a bunch of tournaments, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne,
Sure.
like all those are, close connected
How's
to me.
Indianapolis as a city?
Awesome city,
Yeah?
underrated, small. They have like a little circle, but
Sure.
an incredible city, super cool.
How do you feel about Pittsburgh as a city?
I love Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I'm a big fan.
Hidden
It's
gem.
not what
Hidden gem.
I agree. I love Pittsburgh.
I went to Pittsburgh, and I guess I was expecting it to be dumpy, and I was like, this place is beautiful.
Awesome. It's up and coming
Middle
too
of
because
baseball season. Like,
beautiful.
It was, okay.
that stadium's awesome
Got to
too.
get to Indy. It was
Indy's super cool. It's small. I mean, if you go for the football, it's perfect.
right.
A little cold
Yeah.
that time of year, but Indy's like
September.
it's tiny comparatively to big cities,
Okay.
but I like it.
Okay, I can do that. All right, shortstop.
Mm.
This is interesting. I feel like we're gonna have a match here. I don't know, maybe the trifecta. Shortstop. Everyone has an image of shortstop. I went Illinois.
Illinois.
The Illinois State.
I mean, Chicago's the crown jewel of the
It
Midwest.
really is,
It's
man.
beautiful.
Like,
It
obviously,
really
there's
is.
more to the state than Chicago, but
There
that
is.
is the Midwest
Yep.
city.
Yeah,
So-
it's the there's everybody from my area when they go to work in the big city, they go to Chicago.
Yeah.
Like New York is still the biggest and
Yeah.
the best, but if you stay, a lot of people stay in the Midwest, Chicago, and summertime Chicago,
Yeah.
hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's have you done Chicago, BBD?
I did,
put you on the
obviously,
spot.
with you this summer. We did a couple days.
Right.
And then I went, my family and I did kind of a similar trip to what we did this
Right.
summer. And we did it, but that was like our longest part. We did like 4 days in Chicago.
It's
It was really nice.
yeah,
Just a summer trip.
it's like the going away
baseball.
staying. Like if I did TikTok videos that were like 10 things white people say, it's like Chicago would be America's favorite city if it didn't get cold. Like it's very true.
And I even
think
like
it's
it when
very
it's
true.
cold, to be honest. Yeah, you gotta love it. It's cold off the
Yes,
lake.
I
Oh
was
my
there.
god, you can't be
It gets
outside.
cold.
Oh, it's so cold.
It
I mean,
gets-
New York's cold too, man.
Yes, but also like not as cold.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I know
true.
it
that
is,
lake
but it's
effect is
also, like,
next
not.
level, man.
And, like,
it's true.
And it doesn't. I don't have the words for it. Yes, New York's by water and everything, obviously, so you get similar effects there. But just
That
I don't
lake
know.
effect.
It doesn't.
Feels
It's the
get
truth.
same.
It's the truth. You're right. It's next level. But summertime, I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been able to play. Like, I got drafted by the Cubs.
Mm.
I wish I would have been able to be a big leaguer in Chicago just to experience it. Like, New York was incredible, man.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things I was able to do is wear a Mets uniform for so long because I love New York. Like, I got to feel a part of
you
it
get
for
to,
a
like,
long time.
embody it a little
Yeah, and so I would have loved to have done that in Chicago. Like, that would have been so cool.
Happer, I'm obviously in Hap. He's with us. He's compound. I'm really excited to see for him, man, because some of his stats, you're like, dude, you're awesome. Like 800 career OPS and stuff like
Very
that.
good.
Like, dude.
Switch hitter. Like,
and now that they traded away the old guard, Rizzo and him, like he's kind of like their guy
He's
in the
their
middle
guy.
of the lineup, and I think he's got 2 more years of ARB, so I'm really interested. Obviously, he is, but like
he's gonna have to wear the veteran status now because he's gonna be one of the older guys that's been there for a while. He'll I'm sure he's already started, but he'll get like texts and phone calls from younger guys. And he's like, "Why are you asking me this?" Like, it happened to me in Oakland. You're like, "What?" Oh, and then you realize like, that's a hat I have to wear now.
This. Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, I
Good
think
for him. Yeah, it's super cool.
Big year. Cubs have a sneaky season. Like Ian Happ's like a dude. He already is.
Yeah, he's a dude.
So am I. Third base. And again, this is, I think, corners sometimes up the middle, even center field. I had Missouri here. In my head, I had Missouri as kind of mighty. I had a little bit of regret when you said Missouri. Well, A, your St. Louis line was cool. B, I started thinking of like Ryan Howard. I think like Luke Voigt's a Missouri guy. Like
Ryan Howard was my image, by the way. Thank you for bringing that up. Like Southwest Missouri State guy. Yeah.
That's cool. I think
I think it's Missouri State
Missouri
now.
State is this
Used to be Southwest Missouri State.
Really?
Brad
They're, like,
Ziegler.
One of the weirdest, I shouldn't say, one of the baseball powerhouse that you're just like, what?
Yep.
But yeah, I had Missouri at third.
I like it. BBD?
Third base. This is where I ended up. Sorry, I'm trying to find the board so I can fill things in. This is where I put Kansas.
Okay.
Kansas, I have the phrase I kept stumbling into just every time I tried to think about it. I thought about a few positions for Kansas, but Kansas is a ball player.
Oh, okay.
He's there.
Okay.
Wherever
Kansas
you put
shows
him,
up.
Kansas is going to go give you a consistent performance day in, day out. You know what you're getting. I don't think he's going to be anyone's favorite, but Kansas is going to give you his thing, and he's a
Joe
ball
Randa.
player.
I like it.
Joe Randa. What about yourself?
For third base, I have Wisconsin. They are the other, northern outside of
corners.
Minnesota. I literally put third base catcher. I almost went to. I almost put. I almost put Minnesota as my third baseman because of a guy named Jack Hanahan, who's a University of Minnesota guy. I played with him long time. Red. I played with him in Oakland, like a left-handed hitter. He had a solid career, but he's a big, Canadian style talking and like third base, like just a manly hockey style. Put your body on the line for fun. Just
pleasure out of that.
like just enjoys punishment, and you have to be like that to man the hot corner, man. They're not quite catcher like, but they're still a different breed. Yeah.
Down on that
I
ladder.
thought you said Joel Hanrahan at first.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember him.
I
but
do.
Nasty
Pitcher.
reliever.
Yeah. Jack Hanahan.
Jack Hanahan.
So here's a quick Jack Hanahan story. So my second day in the big leagues. Vicente Padilla, Texas Rangers, pitching, Texas Rangers, Oakland A's. Nick Swisher's up, leading off the bottom of the first inning. Throws at him, misses, 97. Throws at him again. I think the third pitch he hits him. He charges. I just got traded over to the A's, so I had nobody on this team. So I'm sprinting over, and I'm like on the field in Oakland. You're in the bullpen. You're on the field. And so I could see everybody running in, and I see Jack Hanahan, who we actually split a locker in the big leagues when I first got called up because the Coliseum is terrible. But we literally shared a locker down the middle. We had to take turns getting dressed. But I see him, and Nick Swisher, who was hitting, was the guy right beside us. Awesome human. I see Jack Hanahan sprinting out and Superman jumps like over the pile to try to get Padilla, and like I was like, that guy is a badass. I love that human being. I still to this day love Jack Hanahan, but that embodies that Minnesota Wisconsin style. But that was my first day, like my first game in the big leagues.
First game in the bigs.
Benches clearing brawls, like a real deal, punches thrown.
That's
kind
wild,
of fun,
dude.
Fun
That's
times.
That's like something you joke about on like the broadcast after a brawl. Like you kind of start checking boxes, and you're like, okay, who's the veteran that was around but obviously didn't get in the
just
mix?
found a match to.
And then it's like, who's the newest guy that was like traded, or a young guy that called up that like doesn't have any skin in the game?
I knew more guys on the Rangers having played against them coming up, and I grabbed my buddy. And I was like, dude, this is big leagues is amazing. I was like, don't punch me in the face.
Please don't swing. Do not swing at me.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Super Manahan is his
Super
nickname.
Manahan? I did not know that.
Nickname on Baseball Reference.
It's lovely. How awesome in Oakland A's is it that we split a locker as our first?
That's wild. Like, I didn't
first
know that
time in
was
the
an
big
option.
leagues. They're like, here, you're gonna get this half. You can have a shoe. The other
By
shoe.
the way, if you're
Worth it.
a lot of talk about catchers today. If you're one of those nuts, Jack Hanahan, 8-year MLB career,
He's a guy.
Stick around.
Good teammate.
University of Minnesota.
I
St. Paul boy.
tacking on. I almost a part of me wanted to go Minnesota third base for another guy we know. I couldn't get Plouffe out of my head, but I didn't do it. I didn't
Lives
do it.
in your head.
He's a California boy now.
Yeah, Californian.
He's back to Cali.
Outfield, we normally jump to center.
Center and then do the corners
I'm cool with that.
together.
We value it differently, and I think we should. Center field's tough. This is where I went with the great state of Ohio.
Oh, I'm proud of you for that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's Ohio State because pick center field. Sometimes it comes to covering ground or speed, but I think it was a pride thing, and I had like the pride of Ohio, like a proud center fielder. Like, that's my ball. I'm calling it Ohio.
I like it. Respect. Thank you. Ohio is always, just so you know, being from Ohio, I was actually born in Tennessee, but in Ohio, raised since I was 4, we're always the like movie trope if you're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, I'm Mike from Ohio. Like the average white guy
real, yeah.
that's Ohio. It's so funny.
Well, I have Mike catching
So
balls.
I appreciate that
I have
you put him in center.
snagging balls inside.
I love it.
What about yourself?
For center field, so I went Iowa. When I think of Iowa, I think of wide open cornfields, lots of space. You got to man the outfield. You've got plenty of coverage. You're going to need some speed out there. A lot of athleticism and the wrestling people out in Iowa. Yeah. Just good football players. Like, that's an important position. Speed guy, got to cover space. That's why I chose Iowa.
I like it. Beebs?
Center field. This is where I ended up putting Missouri.
Okay.
I took a long thoughts on it, and it has the two major cities, St. Louis and Kansas City. Is the bulk of that's in the real parts in Missouri. So some good range there. It touches so many other states. I believe it's the state that borders the most states.
That's cool.
It's rangy.
I like
can
that
help
angle.
everybody
I do too.
out.
I like that angle.
And the player mold I'm thinking of is Aaron Hicks, not the speediest center fielder, but rangy and will go make the plays you need. Important part of the team when he's right. I'm thinking about good
Missouri.
Aaron Hicks.
Hicks, Missouri.
I haven't gotten to see that in a couple of years.
I like the touching every state.
Yeah, the
I do
touching
too.
every
I like
state.
it.
That makes
Two
sense.
big cities on either end there, basically.
It's good logic. Let's pair the corners up. We do have a Jomboy Media tournament
Also, my
Coming
girlfriend's
up.
from Missouri.
coming up after this. Really?
Mm-hmm.
The ladies from Mizzou.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Look at you guys.
So she also said put Missouri in a premium spot or
Young
else.
love is beautiful.
Young love.
That's
God.
forceful. You do what you got to do.
Yeah,
we might end the show with some young love talk. 'Cause I've got stories and thoughts.
I'm for it.
Let's pair the corners together. I'll be honest, I got a little lost on this. I think I ended up pairing them because of letters. I put Kansas in right and Kentucky in left. I have Kansas people as a little more powerful than Kentucky people, and so I have Kansas in right BBD. I don't want to get that. Do not want to get that confused.
You said.
Because I'm so passionate about it. Yeah, I don't know. These were my two I kind of got lost on. And go play outfield, kid. That's what it is.
I also got a little lost here. So I went with Indiana in left field and Michigan in right field. So I feel like Michigan is the tough kind of, they've got Detroit, but Ann Arbor is beautiful, and Michigan's a great state, smart. So I figured right field, you got the super athleticism, got a cannon there. So I went with Michigan. Plus,
Michigan has a strong arm.
Strong arm, a strong outfield. They're shaped like a glove, like the state's shaped like a glove.
Shaped like a glove, and it has an arm.
There it is, that arm overhand, coming, throwing the ball home. I didn't know what to do with Indiana. So when I see Indiana, I think of French Lick, I think of Larry Bird, I think of the Basketball Hall of Fame, and I didn't know where to put him because it's basketball. So I was like, I'm just going to stick this kid in left field and see where it goes, and if he's we'll make an adjustment if need be.
The athlete starts playing baseball.
Let's stick the outfield out. Yeah. He'll figure it out.
Okay. Babes?
Left and right, this is where I had my two that work together a little bit. I put Minnesota and Wisconsin in left, right.
You got a power outfield.
They're powerful.
You got a power outfield.
Yes. I went outfield heavy.
You got a modern outfield.
Yeah.
You got Castellanos.
Missouri will go make the plays, but you kind of like a little better defense there with those two in the
Winker.
corners. But yeah,
they're gonna rake anything they do in the outfield is just a bonus.
Yeah, if they go make a play for you,
strong boys.
Tip your cap. Thanks, buddy.
They got good arms.
Yeah,
like a Hunter Renfroe.
Yes. We looked him up. Is he a Midwest guy?
I don't know.
I feel like we were lost on him, and then it all made sense when we looked it up.
I want to look it up and not get it wrong.
Because you want to
He's
say
from
the South.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Crystal Springs.
Hunter Renfroe. Okay. And then DH, I had Nebraska.
That's where I ended up with Nebraska. Okay. Hardest to place for me.
I have that as like my burliest.
That's your. Okay, I could see that.
I had him as burly.
At DH, I have Kansas because they are all basketball and they can't play the field. So they're like the guy that just can rake, but you know.
Let him go run into one.
Yeah, the David Ortiz that's like, man, you're really good at this thing, which is shooting hoops or whatever. Just do that. Don't worry about anything else.
Only shoot hoops.
Only shoot hoops. Yep. Stay on
that.
Yeah, stay on that 3-point arc.
Yeah, it was. So I think a tricky part of this exercise was a lot of the times I was thinking of like little leaguers. Like for some reason, just seeing the states in baseball, I think
you associate it. I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
I was just picturing a Nebraska team of like 5 12-year-olds who are pretty well built in a good and bad way coming up in a row. Like,
man.
Like they would be the DH on every other team, but that's Nebraska.
I dig it. The offensive lineman style.
Okay. All right, so that means the pitchers. I had Michigan, kind of for the throwing reasons I just said. I had Michigan.
I like it.
I had Michigan and Minnesota pairing up as the battery. Like, I think those were two proud big Midwest towns, like, pairing up.
It's hard to argue against that. I like the throwing. I mean, the throwing thing is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I used it for the outfield, but starting pitcher.
I
guess it's
see
my
the
Ohio
argument
thing
for Michigan there.
Who do you have on the bump?
I've got Ohio, man.
I've
got Ohio.
Okay.
That's me.
That's fair.
Ohio's known for a few things. Former presidents, got a lot of those. And astronauts, lots of astronauts. Home of Neil Armstrong, pretty cool. And like football, like strong, Midwestern football players. And to me, like from the presidents and the astronauts, that's a thinking man's game. That's a starting pitcher. He's got to play a little bit. Not on top of that, they're pretty dang good athletes that kind of get overlooked. Like linemen are athletes and get overlooked because of technique and stuff.
Right.
Like Plouffe talked about, and starting pitchers are kind of their own group. They're like on their own island. Like all the team hangs out together. Ohio is like Eastern time zone. If you look on a map, Ohio is, you take I-75 in Miami, you drive straight north, right through Ohio on the west side. Like, we're weird.
Yeah.
We're east. But so they're their own breed, the starting pitcher. I don't want to get too deep on Ohio.
No, that was heavy.
And similar when we did Thanksgiving foods, turkey. It's Turkey Day. It's Turkey Day. They're that's a little bit what you get with the Ohio State people, and they're all OHIO, and it's all, if they're from Ohio, they're very proud about it.
That's why I put them in center. So
that's
like
a little bit of what happens.
Yeah.
Very got some good durability there.
Strong positions.
It's the strong position. Ohio, it's a strong, for its size, Ohio's a strong state.
I think the fifth largest state by population. We got a lot of big cities.
Really?
Cincinnati,
Columbus,
Dayton, Cleveland, Columbus, Toledo,
enough
Akron.
Cities.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the fifth largest. So when I was a kid, it was in elementary school, learning like the
it's at least
number
up
of
there.
votes we get.
Yeah.
So
yeah, hell yeah.
And the other part was like, you saw someone name a Midwest state, one of the first three they're gonna name is Ohio. So it's just like in the context of this, Ohio just is so associated with it.
It's also shaped like a heart of the team.
Yeah.
Starting pitcher. I would disagree with that, but
I'd fight that. Okay, and then at closer I put Indiana just because I don't know. I was lost. I didn't have a spot for them. It just happened.
I felt the same way. I went for my closer. I went with Kentucky because they don't belong in the Midwest.
They hang out by themselves.
They're also very, very basketball centric.
They are basketball
so specific to maybe you have just a devastating slider,
cutter,
or a manual Class A style cutter. Just let it eat, man. Mariano Rivera.
I also had Kentucky as my closer. I felt a bit more strongly about it. They're like, I think the weird that you get in Kentucky is just different from the weird you get in those other Midwest states.
Different Midwest.
Probably because it's
the South,
the least Midwest of the Midwest states
South
we have
Midwest.
here. And I looked it up and I was like, Josh Hader's such a Kentucky guy from Maryland, Eastern Maryland. What? But I'm picturing Josh Hader out there, kind of just a weirdo freak every day.
Yeah, kind of like we're saying Kentucky's a little misplaced here, and that's a little. Like, they're on the team because they do their one thing well. Like, it's an AAU team, and it's like, hey, this kid throws. We're 14. This kid throws 98. Put him in for the final inning, and let's go home.
Even if he doesn't like if he doesn't throw enough strikes, they're not gonna be able to touch it before he walks four people.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's beautiful. I did. I don't want to say we're running short on time, but I think we'll do lineups quick. BBD, I don't want to put you in a weird spot if you're recording the lineups.
We'll get them in there.
Okay. I'll just go down the board. I'll do my lineup. I had Ohio lead off, followed by Illinois. Nebraska 3, Wisconsin 4, Missouri 5, Kansas 6, Minnesota 7, Kentucky 8, Indiana 9. So that was just down the board.
I didn't do the lineup, so I'm doing it right now.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
I can go.
You do it.
Kansas, I have leading off. He's kind of boring, but he's going to get on. Like I said, he's a ball player.
Okay.
Missouri, I've gotten center field. That I couldn't figure out placements with him in the lineup, and I have guys that are lefties. I didn't like stacking. Missouri's switch hitting. He's Aaron Hicks. Wisconsin and right batting third. Minnesota and left batting fourth. They're a duo. Sure. Michigan still able to hit, batting 5 hole. Illinois 6, batting at shortstop. You want it to be better than it really is there.
Ooh.
Obviously, you believe Chicago, all the things I said. It has the glove on the defensive end ready to go. You want it to hit a little more.
Wow.
There's just a lot outside Chicago that I don't think we'd like. And then Nebraska 7, DH. No idea what to do with Nebraska at any point in any of this. Iowa 8, catching. Indiana 9, second leadoff guy, second base.
I did this. Well prepared, well prepped. You got to put your center fielder. I've got Iowa leading off. I didn't know what to do with The second spot, I went Nebraska, thinking that's my second baseman, but so I put him there. I've got first base being my best hitter in Missouri, just doing everything at first base. DH, Kansas, hitting cleanup. He's really good at that thing, and he's going to drive in runs. I've got Michigan in right field, batting fifth. Got Indiana hitting sixth in left field. Got Minnesota, the catcher, being a strong hitter, and catcher batting seventh. Gives him time to take off his equipment if need be.
Right.
And then I've got, what does that leave me? Wisconsin batting eighth. Or is that right? And then, shoot.
Feels like you just
What do I got
came
left?
up with this lineup.
I did. I
Iowa,
literally
Nebraska,
did. I ran.
Missouri, Kansas, Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin.
What am I missing?
Iowa?
No, Iowa's batting leadoff. Iowa 1, Kentucky
top.
2, Missouri 3, Kansas 4, Michigan 5, Indiana
First
6,
baseman.
Minnesota.
Illinois.
7. Oh, Illinois got to be 9.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, Illinois.
You guys have a light hitting
versatile.
Illinois.
Yeah, I just missed
That's
it.
fine.
Light
You
hitting
want it to hit more
shortstop.
often than it does.
The second leadoff.
Throwback.
That's tough.
Yeah. Speedster. I mean, that was the Midwest baseball lineup and draft. What did we find out at the end? We had a double Minnesota behind the dish. Illinois swept at shortstop, but not impressive enough for you guys. You guys both had Illinois down in the lineup.
Well, had I prepared
No,
better, it
no,
probably would have hit.
You were prepared. You were prepared.
I'll wear it.
A couple Nebraska DHs. You and BBD both had Kentucky as the closer. And Ohio. So you guys had the same.
We had some.
you guys had the same
pitching
pitching,
staff.
the same rotation.
Yeah, we were on the same wavelength quite a bit in this.
Wow. And then the lineups happened quick.
Ohio would be like the Shohei Ohtani starting pitcher that hits
If
for
there's
himself.
a pitcher that can hit.
I mean, I had some punch in my lineup. I had some punch. Chat, let us know what you think we just missed. I just reopened the chat, so you guys are back with us. I hate leaving you guys. Let me know what we missed. That was the baseball lineup draft. And it's brought to you by Roman. Roman, we're talking about hitting with these lineups. We got some big hitters. We had some lower hitters. You know, Indiana, people were worried about not hitting. If you're not hitting it in the bedroom, sorry, that's not great. If you want to, well, no, we'll get there. If you're not hitting it in the bedroom, I don't like that. Get Roman, guys. Or ladies, if you're listening and maybe your guy's being a little too proud about their stuff not working. Go get Roman. There's a solution. They will get you in touch with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional if you're having some ED issues. And if you go to getroman.com/JJR, you'll get $15 off your first month of treatment. So go get Roman if you're struggling there. Like you cannot, which seems like the solution. That seems better.
Way better.
That seems better than
You've got the choice.
You have,
having your
you have
stuff not
something going on. You go to fix it. Don't be too proud. It's worth it.
Too proud.
Ain't too proud to beg.
Life's too short to be too proud. So go get yourself some Roman. It's halftime, which is almost full time. We kind of
I
have
think
to start,
for today we have
to
get
start
moving a
making
little
some
bit.
moves. But I mean, we really talked about the Midwest and happy.
Gosh,
You're a
what
proud.
an honor.
You're a proud Midwest
I am
guy.
a proud Midwesterner.
And you should be. What do you think
Not
about?
not overly proud. Like I'm not like thinking we're
No,
the
you
greatest
don't
thing.
come
You know what I
in.
mean? Yeah.
You don't come in hot.
You're
with
not
it.
hot on it.
I'm not gonna scream OH in your face. You know.
There's a lot at that wedding.
It's too much. I agree. Even when I go to other weddings from my friends and it happens, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit down.
I mean, it was a lot.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
I think they were also. I don't want to start. I think they were Polish. I think there's a Polish wedding
Big.
tradition
Cleveland. A lot of Polish.
where like you tie the napkin around your head, or maybe they
No
were
idea.
just tipsy. But it was there's a bunch of people with like. I have some good news for you.
Normal Dog wants to make Jersey part of the Midwest. That's a diss on Jersey and
Easy,
the Midwest.
Easy.
That's like we don't want you here.
Well,
Go to where
You're
we
from Long Island.
just a flyover state.
That hits.
Just fly over.
That hits both ways.
Yeah,
Damn.
man. That's steep. Hurts.
We have a treat for you. We told
not
you
normal,
beforehand. Nolan's Nana Bread.
Oh my gosh. This is it?
These guys are fans. I keep saying they're going to be
This
the
is the
first company I
official-
ever invest in. They make the most delicious banana bread you've
Can I
ever
eat it
had.
on air?
We're going.
Is that okay?
That's
Wonderful.
the plan.
Good. Okay, I was gonna
Do
do.
you
it
like
anyway.
banana bread?
I'm a big fan.
So they sent us 2 little boxes, which I'm interested to see. They sent us the nibblers. Yeah.
Bites.
They're little nibblers.
These are so good. I'm so
How
excited
how
to
is
eat this.
the mouth mucking sound for radio? Is that great?
It's perfect.
Oh, the audience is used to
It's
it.
perfect. Baby, I'll give this to you. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
So, I think this is a peanut one.
Where's this
What do
from?
you have over there? Are you allergic to anything?
I'm not.
What
thank
are you
goodness.
allergic to?
Ooh.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. I eat whatever the hell I want. All the time, anytime.
You're allergic to nothing.
Nothing.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I might be, but I don't know.
We don't know
You know what I mean? Like, never done
don't
one of those
know
allergy tests where I could be like, oh, that's why I don't sleep like a human being.
So,
But this is like a streusel. It's unbelievable. Do you want to try mine? I think
I think these
are these
I
different?
think this is the coffee cake.
Yeah, that's unreal.
I think those are like peanut.
I'll
So
try
they
the
make
peanut.
these variety flavors.
I didn't even know you could do that with banana bread.
Seasonal.
They sent us a peppermint that I was like, Nolan's, you're about to lose. Like, I thought you were undefeated. I thought you guys were undefeated. You're about to lose. You're not doing a peppermint banana bread. It was delicious.
Like,
It was
not-
delicious.
I'm not a peppermint guy either, and like I loved it.
That's a strange combination. I love it.
So, these guys are
That
Yankee
coffee
fans.
cake
which
one
you
is
like.
unreal.
I've eaten.
Let me eat another one. I haven't eaten lunch
I've
yet.
eaten so many of these on air that it's weird. I feel bad for the people. It's the official banana bread of Jomboy Media, which a lot of people were fighting for. But no, man, these guys are the
Bananas.
best. They're Yankee fans. That's kind of how they heard about us. Dude, the main guy, 18 years old. Like, passionate about it.
Entrepreneur.
Just
love it.
fucking passionate about it. They're
That's
slinging
become, like, the
banana
banana
bread.
Biz, like it's
They had like a good year. Go
Is that
follow
Nolan?
them. Nolan. Go
Shout
follow.
out Nolan.
Go follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Nolan's Nana Bread for regular updates. You can order at nolansnana.com. Ship anywhere in the U.S. It's their peppermint crunch banana bread is what we had last episode. That was crazy good. The Liskovs, they're in there right now. Way more than your grandma's banana bread. I don't know if I should reveal this. So I kept saying on air that I was like, this is going to be the first company I invest in, like ever. Like banana bread, you could sell it to anyone. I love the passion. If you're doing anything that young and like going for it, I'll believe in that all day. And then Jimmy was like, dude, you might have to stop saying that because like if they come to you for investment, like it's go time. And I was like, well, like I'm in. I'd have to check the funds, and right now might be a little tight. It's the holidays. I'm not liquid.
Yeah, your outfit
All the
says
crypto.
otherwise. Man.
This is why I'm not liquid.
spending your entire per diem on shirts.
But like I super believe in them. And it's kind of like we support us, they support them. We support them, they support us. And I'm about to eat another one, so you guys
think
might,
I've had
you guys
4.
might have to say something. What's your like go-to snack? What's like the Jerry Blevins money snack?
So I do everything, sweet, salty, but I'm more of a salty guy.
Okay.
So I'm like a potato chips. I like jalapeno chips or the cheddar sour cream, barbecue, whatever the case may be. I'm a big like potato chip fan. If I'm going sweet, I'm a huge cheesecake fan. That's like one of the best thing about living in New York was like the access to cheesecake. Unreal. The shout out to Venero's on 11th and 1st, I think. They can be a sponsor. I'm in for that.
We need a cheesecake
send
sponsor.
it. Yeah, for sure. They're unbelievable. But like Oreos on the occasion, cereal. I love a bowl of cereal. Like if I get up in the middle of the night and I'm hungry, it's a bowl of cereal.
Okay.
But I'm all over the board. Like I said, I eat whatever I want all the time. Drives my wife insane.
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar is once a year. I'll have like 5 salt and vinegar chips.
I'm on this.
I don't hate them.
Page.
Yeah, but I gotta be right in the mood.
I dislike them pretty hard. And then I got it. Like I was like, all right. But yeah, for me, it's almost an annual check-in. I'd say there's probably like 5 or 6 foods I have an annual check-in to see if I've changed or they've changed.
I do the same thing. That's hilarious.
Salt and vinegar chips.
Okay.
Celery.
Okay. I don't remember the last time I've eaten celery like by itself.
I'm trying to think what else is on that list. What do you have?
Salmon is on there for me.
Oh, really?
Because I don't like it, but it's so beautiful.
Want to.
And it's good for you. I love sushi. That's my favorite food. Yeah. And it looks so pretty. And I'm like, I'm going to try it. Nope.
Just not.
Still not there. I can eat the sushi, like just the nigiri, the rice and salmon, if it's from a really good place.
Yeah.
I can eat it, but I never am like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
But I can consume it now.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, like, so the salt and vinegar chips are on there where I'll just be like, man, that looks really nice. And then beets was a thing for me. I love them now, but I didn't like them for a long time.
Okay.
And
they were an annual check-in.
Yeah. I can't think of anything. I can't. Yes, they're now a regular part, but I can't think of anything else right now. But the sour cream and onion chips are overrated. I used to love them. I think Cool Ranch Doritos are overrated because I'm a nacho cheese guy myself.
Interesting.
I was late on. It took me a while to agree with everyone on Cool Ranch, and I do agree that in the grand scheme of things, a little overrated. But I was late to the game there, so I.
You know what's sadly overrated is the Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Because everything about them, I don't know if that's the thing here, but like the walking taco, especially like at county fairs in Ohio, you can get like a bag of Cheetos or Doritos with like ground beef thrown into it, shredded cheese, lettuce, and it's like walking around eating it out of the bag.
Really?
So the perfect combo is the Locos Tacos, and it's just like, meh.
Yeah. I mean, I love Taco Bell. I always appreciate that they go for stuff.
Me too.
And I guess I just expect a lot of that stuff is going to fall flat, which is unfortunate.
But that's what happens every time you roll the dice. You might get snake eyes every once in a while.
And that's fine. I did Taco Bell Sunday night after my drunk wedding, like travel day.
Right when you got home.
Perfect.
I'm home.
That's
like,
it. That's
I'm half miserable.
That's why it's there.
The week's about to start, and I was like, you know what? I'm just doing it.
Just finish myself off.
Delivered.
It hit.
Delivered.
How do you feel about Baja Blast Mountain Dew?
I respect it. Dude, I'm really not in the soda game.
I'm off it too.
I just like.
Occasion. That's like a treat for me. Like if I'm gonna go get something
I've
randomly.
one, maybe 2 like straight up sodas a year, I think.
I just walk away from it and I'm like,
you're better for it.
Yeah. It doesn't do enough for me to like, and dude, I
justify.
Eat terrible. I eat terrible. But like soda and the amount of sugar and like that thing they show, I think we talked about this recently. Like, I think in high school, like there was a teacher that shows like how much sugar's in a soda, and they just put it in a cup and like pour the sugar, and I was like, it's a little gross.
It's pretty gross.
It's a little gross. That being said, if I'm doing a T-Bell trip with the fellas, I'm getting Baja Blast.
It's like a part of the experience.
Yeah.
I like the Code Red, preferably.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a soda guy. I used to. like my hangover food,
Mm.
like college, like walking to the bus before we take off. I'd get like a KFC bucket of like Mountain Dew to get me over it, like the fountain though, ice, and then push the button and it comes out that way. It tastes better for some reason.
Yeah.
But I don't drink as much soda. I like hardly ever. Randomly, I'll get a cherry Coke at like Five Guys.
Cherry Coke. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Did we draft something with soda?
We did
the other day?
the drinks draft, and soda
Did
was
a
one of the
drinks draft.
categories you hit.
Oh, you get that as a whole. You could do it.
We could just do
Straight soda.
sodas.
Yeah.
I would be for like candy bars. Like if you go to, you could do a draft for like gas station. When you on a road trip, go to a gas station, what 5 things do you get or something like that?
We had like an ad that was that, didn't you
Yeah.
do that?
Pete and I had like a head-to-head thing.
Pete and I.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
in on that.
Cool video.
Pete and
Like a
Moylan.
combos.
Yeah, I drove past that the same place I went to for that.
I like
a couple weeks ago.
like you get like a honey bun randomly from there.
Ooh.
Oh wait, I did see that. You and Moylan, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Didn't he get something like I've never even heard of?
He got
Like a pickle or something.
he got
off
like
the
an
counter.
interest. Like, I think it's like a weird chip thing. I think people mostly agreed with him. So what
Yeah.
do I know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Pickle in the bag.
Or like the the hard-boiled egg on the counter in the big jar.
God, I don't get it, people. We got to be better. And that's what today's episode is
That'd
about.
be a
We
bit.
got to be better. Guys, we need to wrap it up. And Feo, I'm sorry. I know you were looking for a match 5. Jerry is made for match 5. Maybe we'll make some exclusive content, maybe on the Patreon.
Oh, I have to
Doing
do
that
that Patreon video when I get home. That's my homework from
Oh,
Jomboy.
you have homework.
I have homework from Jomboy.
Sam stuff.
She's
Um,
hounding me on that Slack channel.
thank you guys. JM Slack.
She's
th-
so sweet.
Thank you to Jerry Blevins.
What an honor.
performance.
That was
What a
fun, guys.
performance. Yeah,
If
it's a ride.
If you're watching on the tube, there's the
Survey still
link
up?
in the description here.
Just go by position. Judge us by our positions,
Judge us
not
by our
by
positions.
lineups, because mine fell apart.
This just wasn't ready. Just wasn't ready.
That's true. You can't. No excuse. It said lineup.
We thank you guys. We will see you here next Wednesday, I believe. Jomboy will be back. It'll be right before the holidays, but I'm pretty sure next week we're putting in like a full week, and then the week after that's gonna be the bad Christmas to New Year's week. But thank you guys. Thanks BBD. Let's send them out. Send them home. One more song.
Jomboy Jake Radio, the only show you'll ever need. BBD, snacks and tea, Wednesday afternoon. Jomboy Jake Radio.
This is one of our super
2
fans.
hours of your life.
This is a rad song.
Drafting things
really is.
with these short teams. You'll never have to strive. I might sound a little crazy, but it's the best.